Hey, what's up? It's Sai. I got a battle with Bunnytoof. I'm trying out a few guys, a few new guys that I got, thanks to Kypro. And I tried out a few of these guys against Pulse Effects. Didn't work out too well though. But this one worked out a little better. So I send out my Venusaur. He sends out a Weavile. I'm fearing an Ice Punch, so I switch into my Fortress, and he ends up using a Fake Out. Doesn't do that much. We both end up switching. That turn. He sends out his Ninetales. I sends out my Registeel. He's predicting a switch and he uses Hidden Power, whatever. And I go for an Earthquake. And he's predicting another Earthquake, and I'm predicting oh no, I didn't predict a switch. I thought I would use an Overheat or something. So I go for another Earthquake. And his Pidgeot ends up using U-turn. And I predict some sort of switch. I didn't really predict anything. I was going to use Toxic anyway. But he ends up switching, and I poison his Hitmonchan, which is pretty good. I was fearing a fighting move, so I switch into my Fortress. He ends up using Bulk Up, and he gets poison damage. He uses Drain Punch, which did more than I thought, but I guess, after one Bulk Up. And I'm able to get Stealth Rocks up. And he apparently thinks that I'm not going to attack, so he goes for another Bulk Up. And then I use Explosion. This Fortress has max attack, so that takes out the Hitmonchan. And my Fortress dies due to Explosion, and yeah, it's one down. So I send out my Scarred Venusaur. He sends out his Weavile. He uses Fake Out, and I plunge. I thought I could outspeed it, and I guess he knew I was Scarfed or something, or maybe that's the only ice move he has, but he uses Ice Shard. And I use Leaf Storm, and that KOs the Weavile with no crit. He sends out his Ninetales. There's really not much more I could do with the Venusaur, and I thought I could outspeed it, but I don't. And he uses Overheat, and he gets Special Attack drop. So I send out my Registeel again. It has pretty high special defense and special attack drop. Overheat didn't do that much really. And I really predicted a switch, but I thought, whether or not he switched, Toxic would still do some damage. So take down his Ninetales. It's about half his team. So I sends out a Slacking, which I don't like these things. So I was predicting a fighting move, but this was a really complex thing. I sent out my Sharpedo as Death Fodder because he's really low defense and Slacking's really powerful. So now I can get a literal safe switch in my Registeel because Slacking's not going to move. So I'm able to use this turn to Toxic him. I predict another Earthquake, so he gets poison. I get left over. So I predict another Earthquake, and I go into my Meganium. Max defense, Grass, does almost nothing. And then he's loafing around again. He switches into his Pidgeot. Now it's just going to use Reflect, which is all this thing can really do. It uses Toxic, which I wasn't expecting. I was predicting a switch. And I use Seed Bomb. I don't feel like staying in for a Toxic, so I switch into my Registeel, take whatever it has. Uses Brave Bird, takes damage from that. And he uses Roost, probably. I don't know. Expecting whatever, but I use Iron Head. And I get a nice little crit there. Crits are never bad. Unless it's, crits are never bad. He uses Roost again. It only takes him up to about half. I use Iron Head. And it would pretty much be a stall if he kept roosting, so I guess that's what he was thinking or something. He goes for Brave Bird, I guess, just to do whatever damage he can do. I use Iron Head, take it down. And that gives me leftovers. He sends in his Slacking. I'm predicting an Earthquake, so I go into my Flagon. That's when I predicted. And I guess he predicted a switch into something other than Registeel. So he uses Giga Impact, and I actually don't die from that. That really surprised me. It surprised him too. I used Earthquake. Didn't think it would kill it, which it didn't. Oh, right, I had Reflect up. That's probably why I didn't die. But so yeah, I used Earthquake again. That KOs his Slacking. And his last guy is Atropius, which he hasn't showed me yet. Stealth Rock hits him. I use Flamethrower, which end up getting a crit. Which, I'm not entirely sure if that would have mattered or not. But that's game. Good game, Bunnytoof. Rate, comment, subscribe. Bunnytoof's channel links in the description. Peace out.